Chapter 13, The Night Watchman. Duh, Klein couldn't help but take a step back, not knowing for a moment whether she was awake or still dreaming. The figure took off his black hat, bowed slightly, and said with a low smile, "Get to know you again. Night Watchman, Dun Smith." The Night Watchman, the night goddess church of the extraordinary that Justice and the upside-down dangler mentioned? Klein suddenly saw the light, and then blurted out, "You manipulate dreams? Did you make me dream like that?" Night Watchman Dun Smith put his black top hat back on to hide his slightly higher hairline, and his dark gray eye smiled. "No, I just enter your dream and do the necessary guidance." His voice, mellow and soft, echoed through the dark, dim corridor like a dream that did not disturb others in the dream. Although there will be usually repressed emotions and various dark psychological amplification, so that everything seems chaotic, absurd, and crazy, but the truth still exists, still hidden in it. It's all obvious and easy to see to an old hand like me, and I trust you more in your dreams than in your waking ones. It is who in their right mind can control their dreams? If I dream of something on Earth, won't Dun Smith find it? Klein shuddered, terrified of the encounter in his dream. But he soon gets a little weird, because he remembers being awake and sane in the dream, knowing what to say and what not to say. In short, it doesn't feel like a dream at all. So Dun Smith just saw what I wanted him to see. Klein had a sudden change of heart and a vague realization. Is this a perk of time travel, such as the uniqueness of your own spirit, or an added effect of the differential? So, Mr. Smith, are you sure I really have lost my memory? Klein framed the rhetorical question. Dun Smith did not answer directly, but gave him a deep look. You're not surprised by this sort of thing. I've met clients who don't believe in extraordinary powers, even when they just had a dream, preferring to think they haven't really woken up yet. Klein said, Maybe it was because I was praying and expecting such a power to help me. Interesting thinking logic. Maybe you're not just lucky to be alive." Dun nodded without a smile. "I can now confirm that you did lose some of your memory because of the incident, especially related to the incident itself. So I can go back?" Klein asked tentatively with a deep sigh. Dun put his pocket in one hand and slowly walked over, the night around him quiet and soft. "No, you still have to come with me to see the expert." The corners of his mouth turned politely upward. "Why?" Klein blurts out, then adds, "You don't trust your own dreams." "Are you kidding me? If the expert is good at hypnosis, mind reading, etc., then my biggest secret is out, right? You can't imagine what the result will be. I'm always modest, but when it comes to dreams, I have some faith." Dun replied calmly, "But it's good to be sure about key, important things. And she's very different from what I'm good at, so maybe it'll help you get some of your memory back." Without waiting for Klein, his voice sinks. "After all, you are concerned with the whereabouts of the Antigonus notebooks." "What?" Klein starts for a second. Dun stopped in front of him and looked into his gray eyes. "There's no quaternary notebook at the scene, not in the whole house. Welch is dead, Naya is dead, and you're the only clue." "All right." Klein was silent for a moment and exhaled. "The notes are missing. This is really weird. I didn't even think about what happened to that quaternary notebook." Dun nodded invisibly, and as he passed Klein, "Hebbigan, yell at the door, and come with me to Welch's house right now, where the expert is waiting for us." After a silent breath, Klein's heart swelled, and she felt uneasy. He was willing to refuse, even to run away, but believed that there was a path ahead of the dream. Dun Smith must have raised his guard, and with the difference in strength between the normal and the extraordinary, forcing it would not have much chance of success. He must still have a pistol on him, someone who has practiced shooting a lot. With all kinds of ideas competing in her head, Klein finally chose to recognize their reality. "All right. Well, I'll just have to take it one step at a time. And maybe that special thing in my dream will work again. Let's go. Then, Dunn's tone was unflappable. Klein turned and followed for 2 steps, then suddenly stopped. Mr. Smith, I want to go to the bathroom first. I came out to go to the bathroom. Dunn did not stop him, but gave him a deep look. No problem, Klein. Believe me, in the dark, I'm stronger than you think. In the dark, Klein repeats the words silently. He did not try recklessly, honestly solve the lower abdomen, and then washed his face with cold water, so that he was completely calmed down. Changing into her clothes and closing the door of her house, Klein followed Dunn softly down the stairs to the apartment door. In this calm, Dunn, Smith suddenly spoke. At the end of the dream, why did you want to run away? What are you afraid of? Klein thought and answered, I didn't remember what I did at Welch's house, and I don't remember whether I was the direct cause of his and Naya's deaths, and I don't dare bet on it if it turns out to be me. I'd rather run away and start a new life on the South Continent. If it were me, I'd be the same way. Dunn pushed open the apartment door, letting the cool midnight air blow away the heat inside. He was not afraid of Klein's escape, and he got into the carriage first, which was the one Klein had seen in a dream. 4-wheeled, single horse, driver, and the logo of the police system, with 2 swords crossed and a crown surrounded painted on the side of the carriage. Klein followed and found it covered with a thick carpet and filled with a calming aroma. Sitting down casually, he looked for a topic and tried to find out more. Mr. Smith, if, and I mean if, the experts prove that I have indeed forgotten that part of my memory, and there is no other evidence that I am the perpetrator and not the victim, then the matter is over. The theory is that we will find the note some other way, and as long as it still exists, it will be found. Of course, before this, we will make sure that you have no curse, no lingering evil spirit smell, no corresponding psychological problems, and can meet the future life in peace and health. Dunn Smith smiled, a slightly odd smile. Klein sensed this and, unable to relax, asked, Theoretically? Yes, just in theory. It's a field full of things that are twisted, counterintuitive, unbelievable. Dunn looked Klein in the eye and said, Their duration, their end, sometimes is not something we can foresee and control. Like what? For a moment, Klein was afraid. As the carriage sped along the mostly deserted street, Dunn took out his pipe and sniffed. Just when we think it's over and everything is back to normal, it comes back in a scary, scary way. A few years ago, we dealt with a cult case. They organized followers to commit suicide to complete the living sacrifice. To please the evil god, one of the believers was selected. Survival instinct over stupidity, over faith, over LSD. Secretly ran to the police station to report. The matter was handed over to us to deal with, a small task, because the cult had no extraordinary people, and the gods they sacrificed were arbitrary ideas of their leaders, in order to amass money and enjoy themselves, devoid of humanity. We only used 2 team members, coupled with the cooperation of the police, to successfully solve this cult. Not a single net. As for the person who reported the case, we also confirmed that he had no smell of evil spirits, no curse, no psychological disorder, no personality problems, and no other strange traces. Since then, his career has gone well. He has married a wonderful wife. He has a son and a daughter. All the shadows seem to have gone away from him, and all the horrors and bloodshed of the past seem to have disappeared completely. At this point, Dunn Smith smiled and said, in March of this year, he, who was in good financial condition, had a strong relationship with his wife, and a smart and lovely child, died, choking himself to death in his office. The crimson moon shone out of the carriage window, shining down on Dunn. Smith. At this moment, his seemingly self-deprecating smile made Klein feel creepy, unspeakably creepy. Strangled myself. Klein drew a silent breath, as if seeing her own sad end. If you dodged a bullet, it was only for a while, you know. Is there any way to solve this once and for all? Let yourself be extraordinary against it? The carriage fell silent, and Klein's countless thoughts came and went. In this unspeakable silence, the carriage drove for a long time, and very fast. Just as Klein had made up her mind to shamelessly consult Dunn Smith about the solution, the carriage stopped. "Mr. Smith, the Welch residence is here." The driver's voice came into their ears. "Let's go down." Dunn adjusted his black trench coat to his knees. Well, just in advance, the expert is disguised as the most famous psychic in Ahova County. Klein stopped thinking and asked it curiously, what about who she really is? Dunn turned half round and looked back, his gray eyes deep. Real psychic.